The popular image of a 10,000-year-old human is someone grunting in a cave while striking two rocks together. Between 12,000 and 5,000 years ago, our ancestors populated a massive tree of knowledge, connecting dozens of specialized disciplines in a single, intense window of time. Our modern world relies on systems established thousands of years before the first grand cities of Mesopotamia or Egypt appeared. Mathematics began with the need for stability. Early humans developed conceptual numbers and specific ratios, mixing mud and straw into standardized 4:2:1 brick proportions so they could construct heavy walls that wouldn't collapse. As villages grew, people realized human memory is deeply flawed. To keep accurate track of grain and livestock, they invented physical data storage using small clay shapes, which separated the abstract concept of a number from the physical object itself. Medicine became a rigorous practice. Archaeologists found skulls with large, deliberate holes drilled into the bone to relieve cranial pressure. The rounded, healed edges proved patients survived, demonstrating early doctors had mastered methods for controlling bleeding and preventing lethal infections. The economy matured alongside science. When a farmer saves seed to plant next year rather than eating it today, they are practicing delayed return economics. This required sophisticated long-term budgeting and spurred multi-regional supply chains to transport high-value materials like volcanic obsidian. To negotiate across these distances, different groups established silent trade protocols. One party would leave goods on a beach and retreat, while the other approached to leave an exact payment in gold or salt. This allowed strangers to conduct complex transactions without a shared language or the threat of violence. By applying strict observation to math, science, and trade, early humans shifted their relationship with nature from passive observers to active manipulators. As human settlements swelled from 50 people to several thousand, they collided with a cognitive limit. The human brain naturally struggles to maintain trust with more than about 150 individuals. To survive in these dense new crowds, societies invented public manners and installed hierarchical leaders to settle disputes. They built dedicated masonry courts to ritualize physical conflict, playing complex ball games instead of going to war. They also carved six-sided dice, standardizing probability to settle wagers and consult their gods. Spoken language grew in complexity to keep up. As people invented new tools like the wheel, they coined entirely new vocabularies. Elites even began speaking distinct, high-status dialects to distinguish themselves from common farmers. Storytelling shifted from campfire improvisation into scripted theater. Performers wore elaborate masks and recited exact lines in sunken, circular plazas that were acoustically engineered to project their voices to massive crowds. Music was a precise science. Early musicians recognized that specific mathematical intervals create harmony. Ancient flutes carved from crane bones were drilled with the exact spacing needed to produce a pentatonic scale, the exact same scale used in modern music. Art transitioned away from cave paintings. Instead, individuals started wearing their wealth, using gold and copper jewelry as a permanent broadcast of their social rank. Dialects, theater, and jewelry functioned as social technologies, binding thousands of strangers into a cohesive society without the constant need for war. Inside the home, humanity went through a fiber revolution. With the invention of the loom, people spun flax, cotton, and wool into precise grids of cloth. They engineered breathable tunics, waterproof grass coats, and tailored leggings for extreme weather. Settling into permanent houses created new psychological stressors. To manage the difficulty of living shoulder to shoulder with strangers, humans built thick walls and doors with wooden tumbler locks. Privacy became a daily requirement. Their relationship with the divine formalized into a strict contract. Humans provide sacrifices, and the gods provide rain. This urge was so strong that hunter-gatherers organized huge labor forces to build massive stone temples long before they adopted agriculture. Humans also became ecosystem engineers. Using controlled burning, people systematically cleared millions of acres of forest to create open grasslands. They were terraforming continents to dictate exactly where grazing animals would live. Dinner transitioned from raw fuel to complex chemistry. Cooks used alkaline water to unlock essential vitamins in raw corn, a process called nixtamalization. They mastered fermentation to process milk into cheese, and even popped grains to create the first snacks purely for pleasure. The core structure of the modern human experience, from private homes to tailored diets, was fully established millennia before the rise of the first civilizations. An array of 7,000-year-old innovations, from standardized measurements to applied chemistry, forms the backbone of modern civilization. The actions you take every day are direct inheritances from this era. Whether you are putting on pants, making a spicy meal, or rolling a die on a board game, you are using prehistoric legacies. Our ancestors identified the limits of human memory, the dangers of crowded living, and the unpredictability of nature. In response, they engineered the social, scientific, and cultural blueprint we live by today.